Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, it is so great to have you. I'm Antoinette, a New Zealander living in Germany. And recently I have been talking a lot about the struggles of raising kids in Germany right now during this pandemic. It hasn't been easy. I have been missing New Zealand more than ever. But in this video today, I am going to be focusing on something much more positive. I'm going to be talking about things I love about raising my kids here in Germany. But before I get into that, I would like to thank Boobo Toys for kindly sponsoring this video today. I am so excited to be partnering with them. Boobo Toys are a European-based family-owned company who produce the most beautiful wooden handcrafted development toys for children. All of their toys are ethically made, environmentally friendly, and made from high-quality, safe materials. Their toys are designed to encourage fine motor development, imagination, and open-ended play, which is so important for a child's overall development. After looking at their website, I had really high hopes for their toys, but when I actually received them in person, they far exceeded my expectations. I was really blown away by not only the quality and the craftsmanship of the toys, but the detail and the thought that went into the actual design. These toys are designed for children from around 6 months old to 4 years. As you can see, my son Mateo absolutely loves his new toys. He's been playing with them for hours and hours on end, and he's just been so engaged in his play. This has been the perfect entertainment for him during lockdown in Germany, while I've been busy homeschooling with my daughter Amelia, and it's a much more engaging educational alternative to screen time. Another thing I love about these toys from an adult's perspective is the fact that they look so nice and sleek. They have sort of like a minimalist look to them. Some toys, they just look ugly lying around the house, but these look really nice and sleek. Boobo toys are now available to purchase on Amazon, and if you use my code Emily30OFF, you will receive a 30% discount. Don't forget to leave an Amazon review and share with us what you think. Okay guys, so let's move on to some of the reasons why I love raising my kids in Germany. So for those of you who don't know, I have 3 children. Amelia, who is 8, Mateo, who is 4, and Luca, who is 3 months old. One of the things I love about raising my kids here is that I have been really challenged to step out of my comfort zone in regards to parenting. So coming to Germany, I have been able to see a different style of parenting that I wouldn't have otherwise seen if I had been living in New Zealand. And I actually love the German parenting style. I also love the Kiwi parenting style. So I have been able to pick bits from the German parenting style and pick bits from the New Zealand parenting style that I like and combine them to suit my lifestyle and my family. I'm someone who is really open to learning from other cultures and other ways. And so I have really observed my surroundings, and I've watched the way German parents interact with their children, and I've taken bits that I like from that. One thing I've noticed about German parenting is that there is a strong emphasis on a nurturing, loving home environment, but German children are also raised to be very independent, and this is something I really love. For example, many German parents, they put a lot of trust into their children at a very young age in hopes that their children will become independent and confident, and I really think it's evident that this works. This style of parenting really does work. As I've talked about before, German parents are a lot more relaxed when it comes to their children taking risks, like climbing up a really high fort at a playground, which in another culture would be considered really dangerous. German parents seem to be just really relaxed about that, and they'll let their child try it out. It's common to see German children playing at the playground on their own, or walking to school, riding a bike to school on their own. German parents let their really young children do things like use sharp scissors or use a sharp knife at a really young age. This actually really shocked me at first. When my little girl was at kindergarten and she was learning how to do all these things that in my country would be considered quite dangerous, and you probably wouldn't let your child do that until they're much older. But they're already learning this at kindergarten. As a result of this, I feel like my 8-year-old Amelia is so confident and so capable of doing just so many things. She can basically run the household because I've given her the opportunity to learn how to cook, to cut up like vegetables and She will be stirring a boiling pot without me worrying too much about whether it's going to burn her. And this is sort of because I have witnessed other German parents doing things like this. My husband is just so much more relaxed than me when it comes to letting our children take risks and trying out things that may be considered quite dangerous in my culture. As long as they are supervised, he feels like, you know, why not give them a try and see what they are capable of. So I love the fact that I have been able to raise my kids in Germany, and I've seen another way of parenting that I really like, and I've picked little bits from the German parenting style that really resonate with me and just combine that with my parenting style, and that's something that I am forever grateful for. Also, another reason why I love raising my kids in Germany has a lot to do with the actual area of Germany where we live. So we live in a beautiful wine region in Lower Franconia, Bavaria, in the Würzburg region. When Amelia was born, we lived in Würzburg in the city, and we lived there for a year. And then we moved to a little village outside of Würzburg, still in the district. In my videos, I've talked a lot about this beautiful little village that we moved to, and we lived there for 7 years until we moved into this house that we have built, which is very, very close to the little village where we lived for so many years. One of the reasons I love this area of Germany is basically the landscape is so beautiful and just so ideal for kids. There's so much to do. The little village where we lived, it was just a dream for children. It was like living right in the middle of a storybook, and my family and friends from New Zealand would often say that when I would post photos and share photos with them of the area where we lived. It was really like a fairy tale. There's a backdrop of beautiful vineyards. I could always go for nice walks with my kids in the vineyards, and then we could pop down to the river and, you know, go swimming in the river during summertime. Also, the city life was not far away at all. You know, it's just a quick little drive or bus ride to the city, to Würzburg, if ever we needed to go there. So last year we moved into a house that we built pretty much a stone throw away from the village where my kids grew up, and my kids were absolutely devastated to move. They did not want to move. They just loved their little village so much. But now that we live in this area, the kids are so used to it and they just love it, and we can visit our little village whenever we want. But they also love the area where we live now. We have a forest where we can go for big forest walks whenever we want, right beside our house basically, where there's playgrounds nearby. There's the little town centre where we can go when we need to, and it's just a lovely little area. So speaking of kids, my darling Luca has joined us for this video, as he tends to do. Usually wakes up from his nap like halfway through. Hope you don't mind. So where was I? We have these bicycle paths all through our area, so we can spend a day going for bike rides, riding from village to village, you know, town to town, and make a whole day of it and go for picnics. And yeah, it's so nice. It's a very, as I said, a very simple life, but it's beautiful, and my kids love living here. Also, another reason why I love raising my kids in Germany is the fact that Germany is in the center of Europe, which means we have been able to do so much traveling, and it's just been so wonderful for my kids to be able to experience that. And I know at the moment travel, you know, during this pandemic, it's not possible, but you know, the world will open up again. It's only a matter of time, and my children have already experienced so much. So Amelia, who is only 8, she's been to 13 countries. When I was 8 years old, I had only traveled as far as Auckland. Don't get me wrong, I also had a beautiful childhood in New Zealand, but I did not get to see all of these incredible countries. And this has made my children so curious about different countries and cultures in the world, and it's made them want to see more. And you know, we've just had so many wonderful adventures in different countries. It's been so special. And don't get me wrong, there are so many beautiful areas of Germany that we've visited, and so many more that we would love to visit. Another reason why I love raising my kids in Germany, this is more of a personal reason, which has to do with the fact that my kids have been able to learn English and German and become bilingual. Of course, I'm sure they still would be bilingual if we lived in New Zealand, but I think it would have been a lot harder. The fact that they living in Germany, they are immersed in the German culture and the German language, and they're hearing the German language every single day. automatically gives them, you know, a huge advantage with learning German. And so if we were living in New Zealand, we wouldn't have that. The only German that they would hear would be from my husband, Rob. And I don't think that would be enough to keep the German language alive in our household. Maybe it would, but I feel like they would need a lot more input than that. My children have been able to get that English language exposure from me, not only me, but through my expat friends, through my husband also, because I speak with my husband in English, and so they're hearing that English conversation between, you know, myself and my husband at home always. And you know, I've been able to stay at home with my children all through their lives. I've been a work from home mum, you could say. They've had so much English exposure and they've had so much German exposure, and it's just the fact that we've lived in Germany, I think it has made things a little bit easier than it would have been if I had raised my children in New Zealand. Not saying at all that they wouldn't be bilingual, but living in Germany, I think it's given them a really great opportunity to just dive into those two languages and become fluent in both languages through, you know, a lot of exposure. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And also I wanted to remind you that if you're interested in checking out Boobo toys, I will leave a link to where you can do so in my description below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye.